Does Ferran Torres still deserve to be at Barcelona? And what happened to Henrik Mkhitaryan this season after a brilliant 2023-24? Yeah, the start to the new season has never been better, with interesting league tables all around Europe's top 5. And while everyone is talking about the best players of the season, let's focus on the opposite. The biggest disappointments of 2024-25 lining up a squad of 11. Goalkeeper, Paulo Gazzaniga. Between the sticks we have Girona goalkeeper Paulo Gazzaniga, who had high expectations after a brilliant season last term in which he finished in the top 3 of La Liga's best goalkeepers in several statistical metrics. Indeed, Girona enjoyed the campaign of their dreams, but reality has quickly hit their ambitions this term, as the Catalan side have won just 2 of their 8 games so far in 2024-25. And one of the reasons for this is the poor form of Gazzaniga. The former Tottenham goalkeeper is bottom of the league in both save percentage and goals prevented amongst the players in his position in the league, with only a 60% save percentage and a minus 3.5 in goals prevented. This is a new metric used to assess player performance and represents goals that the keeper had the chance to save but didn't. And in Gazzaniga's case, he could have saved at least 3 of the 11 goals he's conceded so far this season. Right back, Julian Ryerson. From Catalonia, we move northeast to Dortmund, where we find Borussia right back Julian Ryerson. This was the most questionable pick on the list, but the fact is that there aren't many underperforming right backs in the top 5 leagues this season. So we put Ryerson here because of the high standards he set last season. Goals against Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, as well as 90 minutes played versus Atletico Madrid, PSG and Real Madrid in the Champions League final. Ryerson was one of the most underrated players last season, but unfortunately, he has fallen off significantly this term. In 8 appearances so far in 2024-25, he's managed just 1 assist and has barely made the attacking and defensive contributions he did last season. Still, he seems to be getting the job done, with new coach Nuri Sahin relying heavily on him. The reason for this could be the lack of competition for the right back position, with Ryerson's biggest rival for the spot being loanee Jan Kota from Girona. Centre back, Eric Bailly. Yes, Eric Bailly is the first of many current and former Man United players to make our most disappointing list. The Ivorian had high hopes of a glittering career, be it with the Red Devils or another top club, but things definitely didn't go to plan. Bailly currently plays his football at Villarreal, where he's in the 2nd spell at the club. Yes, the former Man United prospect also played for the Yellow Submarine before his move to Old Trafford, but his first spell was far more successful. He made 13 appearances in all competitions last season and 6 so far this term. But that's where the good news ends. He is, by far, the worst Villarreal player in almost every game. And this was most evident in the humiliating 5-1 defeat to the hands of Barcelona, where a rebound off his leg led to a goal and then he conceded a penalty against Lamine Yamal. Centre-back, Berat Jimshiti. The Albanian may not be the most familiar name, but he is one of Atalanta's most important players, currently in his 7th season with the Nerazzurri. However, 31-year-old Jimshiti's start to the season has been nothing short of disappointing, with even Atalanta fans wondering what happened after the European Championship for Jimshiti to be so unimpressive. The lowest point of his first 8 games of the season came in a 4-0 thrashing against Inter at the Giuseppe Meazza. Jimshiti scored an unfortunate own goal in the first half, but that wasn't his worst moment. A couple of Inter attacks later, the Albanian cleared the ball poorly, and Nicolo Barella pounced on the rebound with a superb volley into the far corner. But that wasn't all. In the second half, another terrible mistake and another Inter goal, this time for Marcus Thuram. And if you think his performance has improved in subsequent games, well, he's still a starter and hasn't made any similar mistakes. However, he's still a long way to go to reach the superb form he displayed in the Europa League winning 2023-24 season. Left back, Alphonso Davies. The 23-year-old left back, yes, he's still 23 and we still can't figure out how that's possible, because Davies has been part of European football for quite some time now. And despite being regarded as the best left back in the world in his early years, the 2023-24 season was the first in which Davies wasn't up to his usual standards. Whether it was rumours of a move to Real Madrid or some personal issues, the Canadian certainly feels like he wasn't being fully involved in Bayern Munich's games. His 2023-24 season will be remembered for some good moments, such as the goal he scored at the Santiago Bernabeu. But since then, however, his form at the club has declined even further. Under new manager Vincent Kompany, Davies certainly can't be labelled as a failure or anything like that. Nope. He's just not the same Alphonso Davies who had made those iconic runs down the left wing that earned him a huge reputation, especially during the treble-winning 2019-20 season. He's yet to register a goal or an assist this season, but at least he's still an undisputed starter. Let's see how much longer though. Central defensive midfielder, Casemiro. Can you think of the most disastrous performance by a midfielder in a Premier League match? You can give us a clue in the comment section, but please leave out Casemiro's blunder against Liverpool in September 2024, because that would definitely go in at number 1. Back in May, Merseyside legend and current pundit Jamie Carragher had it right. Leave football before football leaves you. The football's left him. Yes, those were his words at the end of the last term after another dismal performance against Crystal Palace, but what could he say now after his failures at the start of this one? To put it in perspective, no more than 24 months ago, Casemiro was considered the best defensive midfielder in the world. Fast forward 2 years, and he's nowhere near the level he was at Real Madrid. And to make 2 crucial errors in the space of 10 minutes in the biggest game in English football is a bitter pill to swallow. Centre midfield, Henrik Mkhitaryan. Here we have another name that is closely associated with Man United, and also had the misfortune to play for the Red Devils during one of the darkest periods in their history. Henrik Mkhitaryan. The Armenian could be described as one of those midfield maestros of modern football, a player who consistently completes over 90% of his passes. But that's about all he can boast these days, because unlike last season, when he finished with 9 assists and 2 goals, he doesn't even have a goal contribution to his name so far in 2024-25. Yes, as crazy as it sounds, his role on the pitch hasn't changed much, but his form has certainly diminished, and he could be lucky that his colleagues in the centre of the park, Barella and Talnoğlu, are effective enough to push the midfield forward. Central midfielder, Mason Mount. To be a Man United fan is perhaps one of the most agonising things in the last 11 years since Sir Alex Ferguson's departure, but to be a player, that's probably even worse. And in that regard, there are few who can compare with Mason Mount. The former Chelsea man went from being one of the most promising young midfielders in the Prem, assisting a goal in the Champions League final and playing in a Euro final with England, to a complete failure at Old Trafford under Erik ten Hag. And if you're wondering if he's scored a goal for Man United since joining last summer, yes, he has, against Brentford in March. And that's about it. The goal tally stops there. On the other hand, expectations were high for him this summer, as the injury excuses can no longer be used, as Mount has been 100% injury-free this season, but has yet to make an impact. Right winger, Ferran Torres. First of all, what is Ferran Torres still doing at Barca? Well, just as we said that Ryerson was one of the most questionable players not to be included in the list, Ferran is the exact opposite. He is literally the epitome of a player who simply has no place in his team at the moment. And on the other hand, there aren't many names that fit that mould this season. Even if you take his stats out of the equation, Ferran is in a different category to the likes of Lamine Yamal, Rafinha and Pedri in Barca's star-studded attack. It's clear that he lacks the technique, timing and positioning to be effective in Hansi Flick's new formation. However, the fact remains that the German still has faith in him, and it'll be interesting to see how long for. Striker, Alexander Isak. It's very disrespectful to put one of the best strikers in the Premier League alongside Ferran Torres in one list, but it's a fact that much more was expected of Isak this season. The Swedish striker has only 1 goal for Newcastle in 2 months in the new campaign, which is criminally low compared to the amazing 2023-24 he had, scoring 21 goals and assisting 2 in 30 matches in the Prem. One of the few pieces of positive news for Isak was the fact he scored his only goal at a crucial time, in the closing minutes against Spurs to grab the 3 points under the lights of St James's Park. Subsequently, Isak played 2 more games before suffering a toe injury, finishing with an average rating of 6.35 and touching the ball a miserable 39 times in total of 135 minutes of play. Left winger, Mikel Oyarzabal. Scoring the winning goal for your nation in a European Championship final is certainly a great achievement. And just as it can take your career to the next level, it can also bring you down if you don't have the mentality to ignore it. And well, in Oyarzabal's case, he may not have been able to withstand the pressure of being Spain's hero against England this summer. The Real Sociedad man is currently experiencing the worst start to a campaign in his career. In 7 games and 409 minutes played, Oyarzabal has failed to score or provide an assist, but that is the least that can be said about him. He's attempted just 5 shots, entered the box 5 times with the ball at his feet, and completed 38 accurate passes, all in his 6 league games so far. Literally a nightmare for the Spaniard. Yes, as tradition dictates, we've saved the best for last, or to be precise, the worst for last. Nevertheless, if you have different views on who would be a better pick, feel free to express your opinion in the comment section. Also, don't hesitate to like and subscribe to the channel, as well as click on one of our latest uploads. I'll see you in the next one.